You can see behind me there is a lot of damage here in this area. We're told that the tornado took place just about after 8 o'clock last night. This is an officer-involved shooting. At least one person has been transported over to St. Luke's Hospital, and police continue to remain here on scene. There are at least 4 area businesses that have been affected by the fire. You can still feel the excitement here from when Air Force One landed.
Here and all of the equipment right now, and it is much more difficult to breathe.
You can see it went right here onto this front yard, ended up hitting what looks to be a telephone box. You mentioned that you're happy that the police are draining this lake here. Do you have any ideas or suggestions for them where they should go to from here?
Snowmobiling can be a really fun sport, but it can also be dangerous if not done properly.
Go next to me.
You almost missed it, Justin. Oh, he's down!
Now, keep me safe, for the love of God.
Safe. I'll definitely keep you safe.
Okay, keep me close.
Right.
Here we go.
How does he get people to do this?
We are live here in Marion, overseeing the entire corridor. Coming up, we'll tell you what you should know in order to keep your kids safe.
Josh, what makes you think that they might have been found there in Bremer County?
Well, I should say for the record that I have tried to get a hold of local authorities here for the greater part of the morning, and they will not confirm that this is the location where the 2 Evansdale girls' bodies were found, but at least so far it looks like we could very well be in that area here in Bremer County. It's right over by the 7 Bridges wildlife area, and you can see that both the Bremer County Sheriff's Department as well as the Iowa State Patrol has this area blocked off, and it looks like right now here the crime scene unit for DCI is now driving up as well, and following up behind that is another vehicle from DCI, so clearly there's something going on here. And as the hot sun rises over Iowa, most farmers are worrying what another day of a relentless drought will mean for their already struggling corn and soybean crops. But at Bass Farms, the problem isn't the lack of rain, it's keeping up with all the vegetables that need picking.
Yesterday, she got 9 bushels out of these rows, and they produced overnight.
Martin Bitterman and his fellow picker Misty Johnson know better than most that it's been unusually hot and dry.
Well, a lot of times this summer it's been like you're working in a sauna. You are a lot sweaty, just drenched in sweat.
Like most farmers, those who toil the fields are used to hard work. But unlike many of their counterparts this season,
this has been a great year so far as our yields go. Thankfully, we've got this irrigation system set up, and we're not suffering like a lot of other farms are around here.
the ability to irrigate is what's helping them win the war against this summer's drought. It takes more than just a good irrigation system to produce a good crop when there's a drought. It also takes a little creativity too. Here at Bass Farms, they're using a sprinkler that's designed to be used on a golf course.
It was something that we had to think of and create on the fly. It's a little tricky to do, but everything out here, there's no manual for.
Using all that water, of course, isn't cheap, but growers here say it's simply the cost of doing business. And this year, it's paying off with expectations of their best crop year ever.
Shall we get more bags?
Covering the corridor in Mount Vernon, Josh Scheinblum, CBS 2 News. Eastern Iowa is now more than likely home to a new lottery winner. We don't know who they are or what they look like, but that's not going to stop us from trying to find them. So without any leads to go on, we thought we'd start here at a local gas station in Cedar Rapids. It looks like we have a potential lottery winner here. Sir, do I wish you congratulations? Did you win the lottery?
I wish I did.
Sir, if you won the lottery, what would you buy?
An island.
What kind of island?
A tropical island.
Would you invite me on the island with you?
Anybody that wants to come, more the merrier.
Did you win the lottery?
No.
How do we know that you didn't win the lottery?
Dude, I have to have people drive me to work. Come on.
That's the kind of answer someone would give who did win the lottery and didn't want anybody to know about it. For $241 million, you can buy a whole lot of candy. In terms of lifesavers, that's $241 million. But maybe candy's not your thing. At your local gas station, a bottle of water will cost you about $1 too. That means you can get $241 million of those as well. If you've already won the lottery, chances are you're feeling pretty lucky. So maybe 241 million scratch tickets are more your style. Maybe you like doing some drinking. Well, if you're anything like my friend over here, that's definitely a possibility. Ma'am, I noticed you were using the generic version. If you won the lottery, would you get the normal kind?
Sure.
What would be your taste?
Pepsi.
Pepsi?
You guys are not honest.
Well, despite our best efforts, it doesn't look like we're going to be finding the lottery winner here, so we're on our way to the source where the ticket was bought. We're here where that ticket was purchased, Hy-Vee on Edgewood Road. We hear they're having a press conference. Why don't we go on in and let's take a listen. So do you have any idea at all who this winner could be?
That is the $241 million question, and no, we do not yet.
After talking with our friends at the Iowa Lottery and over at Hy-Vee, it's still clear we don't know who won the lottery. The question is, though, if it's you, why haven't you come forward yet? For covering the corridor in Cedar Rapids, Josh Scheiblim, CBS 2 News. When Adrian Hicks stepped off a bus for the first time in Cedar Rapids, he thought he was on the road to becoming a truck driver.
CRST brought me out here with promises of steady work, good paychecks, but there was a lot of stuff they didn't tell us before you came out here.
CRST International gave him a bus ticket from his home in New Jersey to Cedar Rapids. But what he believed was an opportunity of a lifetime left him instead, in his words, at rock bottom.
I've lost everything that I ever cared for or cherished about, and now I've just become a burden to Cedar Rapids, and I don't like that feeling.
Adrian has been homeless since he was expelled from CRST's training school back in November after failing a drug test. He tells CBS 2 News the company refused to pay for his bus ticket back to New Jersey. His story isn't unique. Other CRST rejects tell us there are others who found themselves stranded in Cedar Rapids after being removed from the school.
Hoping and praying for the best.
Isaiah, originally from Indiana, is one. He's asked us to hide his identity. Embarrassed, he says, over the situation he's found himself in.
How many people roughly were in your class?
I think we came out here with about 200 people.
And how many are here now?
I would probably say out of my class alone for that week, probably about 20 of us maybe.
With no place to go, those kicked out of the program often seek help from local nonprofits like the Salvation Army in area homeless shelters.
Perhaps they're only ones that we hear about are those that their support group back home cannot send them money, or their wife cannot send them money.
Officials with the Salvation Army add that in at least one case, a CRST company shuttle dropped off a man from Nevada right at their doorstep, allegedly telling the person, "This is the Salvation Army. They should probably be able to help you." Since January, the Salvation Army alone says they've spent nearly $1,000 on hotel rooms and bus tickets for people trying to get back home after being dropped from CRST's program. To put it another way, they say that's enough money to purchase some 2,200 meals. We asked CRST to respond to the criticisms of its rejected recruits and the concerns of several community organizations. In a written response to CBS 2 News, the company says recruits are told CRST, quote, pays for the transportation home except in cases of a failed drug test or an intentional falsification on the employment application. It's a catch buried on page 12 of an online information packet sandwiched between flashing banners for bonuses and extra money. We couldn't find it on the application itself. And in the cases we found, disclosure seems to be the key. CRST tells us applicants are informed of these requirements and the ramifications. Adrian says it's a warning lost amidst the promises.
When you get here, that's when oh, well, if you don't make the cut, you're on your own.
If they can bring them here, obviously they can send them home.
The company declined to say whether background checks are done prior to recruits' arrival here. They tell us they are proprietary, competitive, and could intrude on our applicants' confidentiality. CRST says it's brought $11 million to the community through its training program and has provided millions of dollars in donations and grants to local organizations. Be that as it may, it's those local organizations who are left to deal, in many cases, with CRST's rejects.
I don't think they put a strain on us unduly. It just seems perhaps immoral and unethical for them to continue to do that.
Community groups asked us why drug tests aren't done before would-be drivers arrive in Cedar Rapids. We asked CRST that same question. Their answer? For the applicant's convenience and quality control. But for some, that convenience has left them struggling. Covering the corridor in Cedar Rapids, Josh Scheinblum, CBS 2 News.